Take a look at vertex form and shifting between vertex, standard, and factored form. Something is considered to be in vertex form if it looks like A parentheses x minus something squared plus something. And if it looks like this, your vertex is going to be at HK. So you kind of want to flip the sign of the thing that you have on the inside, leave the sign of the thing that you have on the outside. So if I were to look at y equals x minus 2 squared minus 1, it's already got this something squared, something on the outside flavor to it. So flipping that inside sign, this negative 2 would say that I have a vertex at positive 2. And I'm keeping that number on the outside alone, so this was a negative 1, it's going to stay the same, negative 1. So if I were to graph this thing, I would see a vertex at the point 2, negative 1. Now, standard form is really nice if I'm trying to do something like quadratic formula, or if I'm just looking at something that looks clean. This looks the nicest of the three forms. Factored form is really nice for finding the intercepts. So if you could factor this as x minus something, I'd be able to identify my two intercepts. First intercept, second intercept. In order to do that, we're going to start with this y equals x minus 2 squared minus 1 expression, and I'm going to multiply it out. So x minus 2 squared is really the same thing as x minus 2 times x minus 2. I still have that minus 1 on the outside. I'm going to FOIL, so I'm going to multiply the first things together. X times x gives me x squared. I'm going to multiply the outsides. I have x times negative 2, or negative 2x. Insides, negative 2 times x is another negative 2x. Last, negative 2 times negative 2 is going to give me a positive 4. Don't forget this negative 1, it's coming down for the ride. I'm going to combine like terms. Minus 2x minus another 2x is minus 4x. A positive 4 take away 1 is a positive 3. Now if I left it here where it just looks like x squared minus 4x plus 3, which looks pretty clean, we would call this standard form. So standard form I just get by multiplying things out and combining like terms. Y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3. If I want to put this thing into factored form, I need to break this up. And the way that I'm breaking this up is I'm looking for things that multiply to give me a positive 3, but would add to give me a negative 4. Well, there aren't a lot of things that multiply to give me 3. 3 and 1 is pretty much it. And if I make these things negative, negative 3 take away 1 more would give me negative 4. So my factored form is x minus 3, x minus 1. Now I want to show you what this looks like in Desmos. So I'm going to type in, and I can type in any of these equations. These are all the same equation. I find that standard form is usually the easiest for me to type in. I don't have to be worried about parentheses. So that's really the strength of this standard form, is it's nice to write. But I should still be able to see the vertex 2, negative 1. Let me verify. 2, negative 1, yep. So the strength of vertex form is it tells you the spot on the graph where it sort of changes that direction. There's my vertex. Standard form is really nice to type into technology. Factored form is telling me where my intercepts are. I'm going to have an intercept at 3. I can see that here at 3, 0. And I'm going to have an x-intercept at 1. I see that here at 1, 0. So factored form, that tells me where this thing is changing directions. Standard form, that's really nice to type in. Factored form, this tells me where my graph will cross. So all of these things have different usages, but they're all the same equation. In fact, if you were to try to type in these other equations into Desmos, you would see that they all line up. So here is my vertex form. It's falling right on top of that last graph. X minus 3, x minus 1. There, that green one's on top of the blue and the red, so they're all on top of each other there. These things are the same graph, even though they look different for the equation. So I hope that helps show the difference between vertex form, standard form, and factored form, and maybe give you some ideas as to why you might want these three different forms.